Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Chatter Squadron, your weekly dose of Star Wars fun and positivity. My name is Tyler Bucks.
And my name is Logan Hansaker. What is up, you rebel scum?
That's what I'm talking about. Well, we always have some type of thing up. Do you like how I said, well?
Well.
So we have battled the internet here over and over. Logan and I are both extremely exhausted.
We have lost.
We have tried everything we can to be technically advanced over here. And failed. However, it's apparently working right now. So bees in the chat if there is an issue. But Logan, let's just cut to the chase. Let's talk about what people can win this month.
You can win The Gift by Al Abazia.
And the gift is not just that gift, which is the art behind us. That's the name of it. The name is The Gift.
The name is The Gift. It's also a gift if you win it for free. And you can win it by commenting on any of our videos this month, which we are in the month of May now.
Yes. And last month we did get a winner, which we will bring up in a couple of seconds here. But you can win the gift by commenting on any of our streams or videos this month. And check this out. This is, it's over here. Check this out. Amazing kind of crossover between Rebels and the Clone Wars, which is really great, feeding into the new Bad Batch series.
Look at that. I just want to reach out and grab him. I just want to grab Vader.
You want to grab Vader?
Just staring at me. Oh, he's staring at himself.
Yeah, he's staring at himself. He's staring at the ground. But yeah, like we said, you can win that art by commenting, and we do have a winner to announce. So drum roll, please, from an invisible drummer. There it is.
I'm the invisible drummer.
The winner of last month's art is Commodore Mellish. That's right. Commodore Mellish comments on a lot of our stuff, and obviously a lot of the people who have won comment all the time, and that's the best way to win, is by commenting over and over and over again when the stream works. You know what I'm saying? When the stream is actually doing what it's supposed to be doing, and you comment on it, it works, and it works every time.
And if it's not working, and you comment in to tell us it's not working, that could also get you. It could also get you a win.
Gets you a prize in my heart for telling us that everything is going wrong.
But it very realistically could be the comment that gets you to win as well. I want to be very clear about that. That's not a joke.
That's a good point. Also, his name is Commodore Mellish because he is a patron on our Patreon, patreon.com/Chatter Squadron. Rise the ranks over there, and you can help support us in a bunch of different ways. And one of the ways that you can help support us is by becoming a Commodore. And at that level, you get a shout out on every single episode. So we'd like to give a shout out to Commodore Marroquin, Commodore Rayside,
Commodore Benty,
and Commodore Mellish. So if you want to shout out every single episode, be sure to comment in. Thank you so much, Chad Benty, Commodore Benty. It's working now. It is working now.
Why?
For now.
Why?
It is working now.
Who writes
for
the rules?
Now.
Who writes the rules?
So here is your spoiler alert for the Bad Batch. Also, probably something was named Bad Bash at one point, and this is your warning for that.
It's a party. It's a party over there. We don't know what they're doing.
So during this little spoiler alert, before we get into the show,
there's your spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert! I'm getting called spam likely or whatever they're called.
That's the internet calling us.
So the internet's calling us to say, "Hey, we know you're doing a good stream now. We're out to get you." What we want to say to the people who are watching is, since there does seem to be some type of issue that happens every single Saturday at 1 p.m., which is our normal time, is there a day or a time that works better for you guys? It's even possible maybe it's Friday nights. Maybe Friday nights, because right after the Bad Batch comes out, we can watch it and react to it on Friday nights. Or if it's another time, maybe Saturdays at some other time. So let us know in the comments. Once again, it can help get you the art right behind us. But Logan, let's get into the episode right now. The question that I have about the first episode to you, Logan, is how did it feel like kind of stepping back into the Star Wars, Clone Wars kind of area again? Especially the last thing we had was The Mandalorian.
Yeah, it felt very exciting. And I don't think I I don't think I knew how exciting it was until it started. Because we watched it together.
Yep. We held hands.
We held hands. Yes, that's true. That's true. At the very tense parts.
Yeah.
And not the tense parts, the very tender parts as well.
Exactly.
No, I didn't. It was when it was starting, and it started off with the voice.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah, that and am I right? We didn't see that in the second one. The second episode didn't start because I think it was that idea of the Clone Wars is still happening
getting
at the beginning.
You right back into it.
Exactly.
So that was cool. But seriously, when that was going, I mean, we've done the predictions episode. We've talked about the Bad Batch and a couple other episodes, and I've been very excited for it.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't even know. I don't know when it was starting. That's when I was like, wow, I didn't know how excited I was for this.
Exactly.
To be right back into it. And when it took it right back into the end of the Clone Wars, I even looked over. I was like,
yeah, if only they had those like moments of wisdom or whatever at the beginning of each episode.
Oh yeah, the fortune cookies.
The fortune cookies. But yeah, for me, it was really interesting because once again, it was like the art style is what struck me first.
Yeah.
Is that it's back to the Clone Wars art style, but up a notch like it was in the last season of the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
And it's so realistic.
Yeah.
They're doing a great job at making just like movements feel so natural.
Where was it? I think it actually might have been in one of the Bad Batch episodes of the final season of the Clone Wars. It wasn't the actual Bad Batch show, but I noticed it the other day where like Anakin was like, someone was talking to him.
Mm-hmm.
And you could see like his eyes were moving. They were, you know what I mean? Like they made the character take in the information as an actor would. I was like, that was brilliant.
Right. I mean, the art direction and everything else feels absolutely outstanding for this one. So let's dive into Aftermath, which is the first episode of the Bad Batch. So while the Bad Batch are assisting Jedi Master Deepa Balaba and her Padawan Caleb Dune, Order 66 is issued and Balaba is killed. The Bad Batch receive the order too, but only Crosshair feels compelled to obey it, and Hunter lets Doom escape. They really just kick you right into full gear for this. It's not like, okay, this is the mission they were on and everything, and then it's all leading up to Order 66. It's like, nope.
Right in it.
Like first 2 minutes or so.
Yeah.
It's almost like it was like as catastrophic as us starting one of our streams. And then like in the first several minutes, it's just like Order 66 on our
That's how it is. We start the stream
connection.
And then the internet is like Order 66 coming right up. And then bam.
Right. And that was something too. When I saw Deepa Balaba at first, like Chad Benty here is saying Kanan, I was like, wait, Deepa Balaba is Kanan's master.
Yeah.
So are we going to see Kanan here?
And then he comes running. Well, because you said I was too busy just repeating Deepa Balaba's name. Because once I heard it, it was like Deepa Balaba. And I was like, that's fun. Deepa Balaba. And then like just totally not even
Deepa Balaba.
Yeah,
Deepa Balaba.
Just like base level. And you're like, I think that's the master. I was like,
I don't know.
Right. I'm just pronouncing the name.
So this scene kind of retcons something from one of the comics, which was a Kanan origin comic. And that was something I mentioned when we were first watching it. I was like, this seems like Order 66 is about to happen, but that's in a comic.
Right.
Because I read the comic. One of the only ones I read. But some of our biggest fans, Star Wars Explained, did a video. Once again, they're subscribed to us. It's no biggie. They're probably looking at our streams being like, man, when will one of them work?
And we're wondering the same thing.
Each time they go to tune in, we're like, hey, everybody. Anyway, so they made an amazing video talking about how these details being changed could be seen from a different point of view from the events.
Yeah.
And when it comes to this event specifically, Kanan and Deepa Balaba had their like Order 66 moment at night.
Yes.
Which is a major thing. The Bad Batch was not there.
Right.
And also, Deepa Balaba's lightsaber was green in the comics and not blue, which is, as they said at the Star Wars Explained video, one of the weirdest details to change.
Because why would you? It doesn't seem like it has any meaning.
Plus, I don't know if it has, if we've seen Deepa Balaba with a blue lightsaber, maybe chat can help us, having a blue lightsaber in the Clone Wars or something else that we've seen before. But if that was the case, I feel like the comic would just make it blue then as well. You know what I mean?
Right.
Keeping it like canon.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
unless the
interesting.
comics changed it to like, oh, we're gonna make it green. And like,
Yeah.
no, it's gonna be blue.
But I like the tact he was taking by saying, looking at it from even books like Myths and Fables, how they retell stories from kind of word of mouth perspectives.
Right.
And I think he made a great point when it comes to kind of these retcons or changes of canon, of as long as they end in a very similar way, it's not that big of an issue, i.e. Balaba is killed by clones. She tells Kanan to run, which Kanan brings up in Rebels.
Right.
And then Caleb escapes.
Right.
That's kind of the big, wide breadth that you need to hit those marks on.
It's very similar. I think the only thing that they changed was in the comics. We were, you said you read it and we were looking it up, was like they were kind of fighting together.
Yeah.
And she told him to run.
Mm-hmm.
And in this one, he was already passed and kind of was on his way back to help her. And she told him to run.
Right.
But it doesn't seem like it was a huge.
Can you grab that cat?
Cat, go this way.
This stream can't get any stranger, ladies and gentlemen.
Except when there's a cat involved.
And now we have a cat. But we can put cats in the tags for this video now.
That's true. And she
views to the moon.
She typed a little bit in our notes, so now we have notes typed by a cat.
Perfect. Now that's what other show has that? And if you become a Commodore, you can see our show notes. So, but yeah, I do think it's strange, I'll be honest, to change canon like this, because the big appeal when they got rid of a lot of the old books and everything for people was like, okay, but we're starting fresh with a new canon, and this means all these stories are going to matter. They're all going to feed into each other.
Right.
And now it's like, well, not all of them, just some of them. And now you're kind of getting to the point of going like,
which one is next?
Right. Which one is next? And I'm not too concerned about it right now. Right. But at the end of the day, Dave Filoni made this. Dave Filoni made Rebels. Dave Filoni did not make that comic. And if we like line them both up and say, you got to keep one of them, I'd be like, let Dave Filoni do what he wants to with the characters he basically created and has made.
Right. And like that, there's small details that they're changing. It's not like they took like this great, very impactful scene that was in a comic, and then they just like nerfed it or made it totally less.
Right.
You know
Caleb
what I mean?
dies and Balaba lives. Like,
you know what I mean? It's
but
like,
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
You know, or not even like the way that it happened. You know, it's not like they took something that was very meaningful and impactful and cool, and then they just like made it kind of lame. You know what I mean? They didn't water it down any. The same thing happened. It wasn't at night. There's some, the Bad Batch was there to obviously help further their story.
Right. And then of course, Caleb Dune, who was, known as Kanan in Rebels. It's a good little way to tie those together.
Yeah.
And it's great that they got Freddie Prinze Jr. to voice young Kanan, because we were laughing so hard. Hey, Balaba, don't worry. Hey there, little Kanan. How's it going?
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you something there, Balaba. I got myself the Bad Batch, you hear?
Yeah.
He was so...
It's like clearly an adult.
Clearly an adult voicing this child. Get away from me, you clones.
Get away. Hey, I got your backup. It's me, Caleb.
Is that just us? Let us know in the comments if we weren't the only people to think his voice did not sound childlike enough.
But I like, and obviously we're teasing, but I like that I do like that they were like, oh, we're going to bring the same voice actor, Freddie Prinze Jr. and keep that consistent. Like, I'm all about that, but
pitch shifted a little bit.
Yeah, it's so funny. Just
pitch shifted, a little bit higher. Maybe that's what they did. Maybe they got to the point where it's like, this is too pitch shift.
Yeah.
Like,
hey guys,
it's me. Okay.
Want to go to Disney?
This has all been on like the first minute of the show. So returning to Kamino, the Bad Batch learns that an empire has replaced the Republic and meets Omega, a young female defective clone. Is it just me, or are they not weirded out enough by this fact? Are they not weirded out enough that the empire is now just like here?
Hey, we're the empire now.
Like, hey, we just saw our own forces kill our own forces, technically.
Right.
And now we're fresh off the line back at Kamino for the first time in however long, 200 something days or whatever they said. And now there's not a republic, it's an empire. And they just seem to be more aligned with like wanting to do their own thing. It's just, I don't know. once again, is it just me? It felt a little bit like, yeah.
It's like, it turns out the Jedi traitors.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, by the
wow.
way, here is a dead Jedi. We're just gonna wheel it past you.
It's like, yeah, we were serving under those guys
Chad
for like a
Benty
while.
said that young Caleb hit the death sticks too hard.
Yeah.
Hey there, Balaba. I got the Bad Batch. Got
the Bad
I'm
Batch.
sorry, I'm out of breath.
He's like, running, not my thing. Jumping is apparently his thing, though. That's an incredible leap.
First scene we see Omega, we get no clues as to who she is and what she does there, because
I mean, you get like negative clues.
You get the Kaminoan woman being like, "This is my medical assistant."
That's a clue, I think. Like, if you're so what's the word I'm looking for? Like, if you're so vague and kind of mysterious about something, like, that is a clue within itself, I think. Like, the fact that it was like, oh, who are you? You know, very pointed questions, like, oh, it's just my lab assistant.
Right.
And then some other one calls her something in regards to like a lab something. You know what I mean? It's like they're really driving home that like Omega is involved with the lab and cloning process.
Well, this is one of the first things that we need to bring up right now that I want to put out there is our points for our predictions. We skipped over that. It's currently 1-1 when it comes to points. I already got 1 point because of what I said about how Order 66 would go down, and that it would be the catalyst for the Bad Batch to basically leave the Republic and everything and become on their own. And then Logan's comes up in a little bit here as to how he got his 1 point. So let's keep that on, that it's 1-1.
1-1.
Soon after all this happens, Admiral Tarkin arrives to evaluate the clones' viability and sends the Bad Batch to eliminate a group of insurgents on Onderon. Logan, how did you feel about this scene?
Oh,
where they go to Onderon.
I mean, Crosshair's a lunatic, if that's what you mean.
And he's your favorite. So
he is my favorite. I don't want to say he was my favorite. Like, I'm hoping he's got like some sort of redemption arc, but it's not looking good. But yeah, like we said, he just sights in on the old woman, right on her head, and is like, "Go ahead, give the order, Hunter.
Give the order, Hunter."
Yeah,
it's like this old woman surrounded by children, and there's other like soldiers and stuff there with weapons and stuff just walking around, but he focuses in right on the old lady,
right on the elderly.
Yeah.
Well, and that's even funnier too, because they were thinking the whole time that they were looking for droids.
Right.
So then it's like you get there and there's never a moment, at least it didn't seem with Crosshair, where it's like, hold up, these aren't droids. Maybe let's question. It's just like, we're looking for droids. Oh, and there's an old woman. Okay, right on the head. You know, like,
right.
It's like,
and for him to be like, come on, give the order.
Like he was just waiting for it.
Please give the orders.
His fingers just like a little twitchy.
I know.
Like, come
on. When they discover that these insurgents are actually fugitives under Saw Gerrera who refuse to submit to the new empire, the Bad Batch abandon their mission and return for Omega, but are arrested for treason. I'm very surprised that they thought they wouldn't be immediately arrested, especially when they see that the Empire is spying on them with a probe droid.
Yeah.
Like a probe droid is just chilling over there. They shoot the probe droid. Do they not know, like, that's a immediate feed?
Well, were they trying to sneak in? Now I'm trying to recall.
It'd be even more incriminating that you shot the thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And they have that.
Like, they could have said, like, when they came back, hey, you said droids, they weren't droids, and we're not going to just do that and go against the mission. But shooting the messenger basically just says like, oh, they're like going rogue completely.
We're up to no good.
Exactly.
We are turning sides. And then they go back.
Right. There's like no logical way you can go against that. And then they go back and just like go to their quarters like, yep, this is going to be fine.
Brushing their teeth.
Right.
Like, ready for bed. It's like, what?
So they all get locked up, as well as Omega, correct?
Yes.
And that's where one of my clues or predictions might come true during that scene, where Omega seems to sense that Crosshair is going to go bad.
Yes.
That he is angry, but he doesn't have the option or whatever she says. She says it in that way of like, you're
like, I know what you're going to do, and I know you don't have any control over it or something
exactly,
like that.
Exactly. And that feels like planting the seeds that she might be force sensitive, which is one of my predictions. But it's in this scene that Logan's prediction gets correct. Not even too specific of a one. It was so on the nose that you just like hit it out of the park, i.e. Omega has to fit in a small space that no one else in the squad can.
Yeah, episode 1.
Episode 1, we high-fived. That's how we were like,
as soon as I saw it, yeah.
He pulls it back and Logan like got up and then Omega got it and we were like, yes, high five. It was great.
It was one of those
yes, where because I was still trying to watch. I was like,
we didn't connect.
But the feeling in our hearts were there. So Logan, how did it feel to be up 1 point?
Well, I was very right about that one, which is a bit of a low ball, I will say. You know, it's like you have a child character in Star Wars, like they're probably going to crawl through.
But in the first episode,
no, that was good.
It was good.
I'm not downplaying it, but I can't like gloss over how wrong I was about the Crosshair prediction.
Yes, because here we go. Tarkin then takes Crosshair and reprograms his inhibitor chip to enhance it, turning him against his squad mates and facing the Bad Batch and Omega to flee without him being Crosshair. I got Crosshair extremely wrong. I don't think my prediction is going to come true, which is he will be positive about a situation to raise the other squad members' morale.
I mean, he was positive about trying to shoot the old woman in the head.
Right. He's like a black hole of positive morale.
Especially this whole episode. Every time Hunter's trying to like, you know, it's like, oh, they're going to do, you know, they're going to break away. They're going to kind of go rogue, do their own thing. And you have Crosshair just like, you're doing the wrong thing.
Right.
We should be killing children. Like,
exactly.
This guy taking a page out of Anakin's book.
Maybe he becomes Anakin's like personal guard at one point.
Yeah.
Well, Darth Vader's. It's like, this guy's got the right idea.
Right. They're both just having like a moment. It's like, you ever just want to kill younglings? Like,
they're in like a mess hall eating. Listen, not enough people around here, and they're like talking to two different groups.
Yeah. Just
not enough people around here want to kill children.
And then they just go in. And it's like Vader still has his helmet on. Crosshair still has his helmet on.
They're just bumping metal. Oh, this took a turn. Either way, I think I think Bradley remembers something incorrectly here. Didn't you say Echo would die?
Yes.
Did you say that?
I did. Not in the first episode.
No,
but
no.
I weirdly, I actually don't think that's too far off still, even after the first 2 episodes that we saw.
But there was this moment
I did say that.
when it comes to this whole thing with this like, tough luck, Buck, I'm evil now, is the idea of Tarkin giving the order, which is one of my predictions, to kill someone, and they actually get killed.
Right.
I wanted to be that specific because
you were close.
Because he's going to be doing this the whole season. He gave the order to turn on the real blasters in the like performance center thing.
And Wrecker got hit pretty good from that.
And that's what I mean. Like I could have gotten a point there, but I wanted to make it more specific, and it did not happen. And if Crosshair killed one of them here, I would have given that. And you would have won a point there too if Crosshair killed someone.
No, he
killed
joined
a clone.
Him. He joined him.
Right.
He did the opposite.
But either way, if he killed a clone,
it would have been
right. And you were still holding on to that, but one of the Bad Batch people Hunter shot another clone right in the head. Like it was a scene where like you're looking at the person like back crates. Here, but there's a person up here that gets shot right in the head.
He's like peeking his head over crates too. And it's like the only thing that's sticking out. And then even then I was fighting you a little bit on that. I was holding out hope. I was like, we don't know if he killed him. You know, he just took a hit.
Right.
But I think it was the second episode, the one we're going to discuss after this, where Hunter definitely killed a clone.
Yeah. So, the Bad Batch are definitely killing clones left and right. But you just brought up the second episode. Before we get to that, I want to ask everybody else who's watching, what did you think of episode 1 of the Bad Batch? Let us know what you thought. Maybe give it a score 1 out of 10.
1 out of 11.
Because for me, I would give it an 8 if I was scoring the first episode. It felt very good. it felt like home to me in a lot of ways with the theming, the score, the characters, all of that. But at the same time, it did leave me going like, I kind of want more.
Yeah.
I kind of want more out of this.
Which is exactly what a first episode should be.
True. Very true. What about you? 1 out of 10?
Ooh, I don't know. I'd probably run like a 7 or an 8.
Okay.
I'd say it's pretty good. Maybe it drops a little bit because they made Crosshair the villain. No, I actually have no problem. I always like the villains.
You were actually pretty bummed, though. Like, when we were watching it, you were pretty bummed that he was made the villain.
I'm only bummed because I don't know. Like, I like a little bit of the just breaking the mics. I liked him in the group. I like that there's always kind of this like a little, I don't want to say darker, but you know what I mean? Like a little
brooding.
Yeah, a little one in the group. So then it was just like, all right, we're going to take him out and make him the bad guy. That's fine. I have no issue with that.
I will say with that, I think it was a good curveball.
It made it very interesting. I didn't see it coming.
And if you would have to say anybody to turn evil in the group, it would be Crosshair.
100%.
It'd be very strange if it was Wrecker.
Right. It'd be very... I would rather it be Crosshair than Wrecker if I had to go up against them.
Yeah. We got Chad Benty here saying, easily one of my favorite animated Star Wars episodes. I give it a 9.
9.
Which is good. I mean, that's what I mean. Like, I think for me saying an 8, that means there's just more room for improvement for me personally.
And that might change too, similar to when we were doing The Mandalorian.
Yes.
I feel like it, there was a couple episodes where we were like, okay, I like this, but I feel like I have to see a little more in order to have some, you know what I mean?
Yeah, this takes us back to the Mandalorian time period where we kept talking about like each episode coming out being like, do I need more out of this?
Yeah.
Like each episode kind of made me want more and more and more. But by the time the finale happened, that was like, you know what I mean?
Solid.
Like it wasn't in your brain of like, man, I wanted more out of that. Like they built it up very well.
Yep.
Chad or Bradley Mellish says, give it a 9. Was superb.
Nice.
It felt like he was just like reviewing a wine there.
Give it a 9. It was superb.
Minty aftertones.
Give it a little swirl.
It has an oaky afterbirth. That is a Office reference. I know what the right word to say is. Let's move on from that to the Bad Batch episode 2, Cut and Run. Once again, spoilers galore going on right now. Logan, take us through this second episode.
Well, this one was cool because we knew very early on it was like it's going to be around the deserter clone once they said that, which we were talking about a few weeks ago.
Right, making jokes, yeah.
So that was cool. But yeah, the Bad Batch and Omega arrive on Saleucami?
Yeah.
To meet with a clone deserter, Cut LaQuain.
Cut LaQuain here.
LaQuain.
What's John McClane?
John McClane.
John McClane.
Or Lone Wolf McQuaid.
Oh, there we go. It's Lone Wolf. Wow. Never mind. Let's just move on. It is funny. We joked about this clone earlier. And the minute it started talking about like this guy like left or blah, 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 all this stuff, I started looking at Logan like,
this is him.
It's the clone. It's the clone we joked about that he would just randomly one day start hating Jedi.
The Jedi are ruining the economy.
They're coming in. They're taking all of our jobs.
Yeah.
Like his Twi'lek wife is just like, what is going on with you?
You used to love Jedi.
You were like
last week you were raving about
that. Was the best part of being a part of the Republic. That's what you were saying. But it was very cool to see him back and know that was going to be the driving force between this. His old Cut LaQuain. Cut
LaQuain. And it's very interesting. We had a conversation a little bit about the inhibitor chip.
Right.
I don't know if I'm a little confused still.
I don't know necessarily fully how it works yet.
Because he was able to desert.
Yep.
He was able to run. So he's not as, I don't want to say docile, but you know what I mean? Yeah. He's not as like
dependent.
Yeah, there's great
obedient
words that I could be using right now.
Yeah.
So he's not like that obedient. That's a great one. Mm-hmm. So he was able to desert, but then it's like, does he just not have a inhibitor chip at all? Because he doesn't feel any way about it feels like
true.
He's able to make his own decisions about everything.
And yeah, also he left and stayed gone when most clones probably all clones are just committed to the service 110%.
Right.
So I don't know. He's a cut above the rest.
Right. So then is he a Bad Batch? No. Just real quick there. Yeah, and then the two discover, this is where you get into the chain codes. So they're trying to get off the their planet, and the Empire has implemented chain codes. So you have to register, each person has to register their identity, and then you get a code.
Right.
He couldn't register because he's a clone. It would have shown up that he's a clone, then he wouldn't know he's a deserter. So that was they're basically breaking in, and Tick is trying to get the chain codes.
Right. And but going back to the whole inhibitor chip thing, there is that talk around the table where they're saying like, there's inhibitor chips, and they're like, you never told me about inhibitor chips. And like, I thought you would just know. How else would they do it?
Right.
Where they have that whole discussion, and we see the kids again for one of the first times.
Right.
And it's just strange. I don't understand necessarily what is up with the kids, because he has these Twi'lek kids, and he has them with this Twi'lek lady, but we looked it up and saw that Cut deserted literally right after the Battle of Geonosis. So like the very first battle,
right,
which is about 3 years before this episode. And even when we saw him in the Clone Wars, he wasn't holding like infant, half Twi'lek, half human children or anything.
Right.
They were normal kids. So what do Twi'lek children like grow much faster?
An accelerated rate?
Is that what they have in common between him as an accelerated growth clone and Twi'leks? Like they both grow far too fast.
They became like 8-year-olds in 3 years.
I don't understand necessarily what the whole timeline is. It's very, very confusing to me. What's that? What are you looking at?
Oh, just looking at the
screen?
Screen there.
Oh, what's that say?
It's like adopted her 2 children.
Oh, okay. So Cut adopted Sue's 2 children.
Interesting. Changes everything.
So yeah, just don't pay attention to anything I just said there in the
last 3 minutes.
The last 3 minutes of that rant. Logan, move on to what happened next in the show. Well, sorry, before that, you were talking about the chain codes.
Yes.
How much of a headache would that be, being a part of the Star Wars universe? And it's like, hey, we got the Empire here. Everybody needs to change over all of your money, your IDs. We're going to take your chips.
Everything.
And your ships.
Your chips and ships.
Chips and ships. I would feel like that would be such a headache as an adulting person. Like, hey, did you do the whole money transfer thing today yet? Oh no, I need to do that this weekend. I don't have any time.
When's the deadline for that again?
Yeah, it's like how much of it, like just like Empire's here, do it our way.
That's what I don't understand. I don't know how they immediately, every single citizen did not just rebel.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how was the rebellion still so small because that's all it would take. Is like there's this war. It's kind of a gray area. We don't know who's kind of good, who's bad. It's like, okay, the Empire took over. This seems like the bad people.
Yeah, this seems like the bad batch.
Like there's, you know what I mean? Like immediate restrictions. Like immediately you have to register. You have to give us your money. You're getting, it's like.
And they're using that type of terminology of like gaslighting, in the sense of like, we are graciously giving over this new thing. It's like, yeah, right.
Like, I feel like I'm doing a lot of work here,
right,
to register and get a chain code. What's a chain code?
So Tick and Echo managed to steal some chain codes, and with Omega's help, deliver them to Cut and his family in time for the family to board a transport.
Just in time.
This is like peak Omega naivete, where she was just like, okay, we need to get the stuff to them. We're surrounded by bad clones. I'm just going to leave the ship and just run straight toward them.
Take the important
I'm just going to take the most important things, and I'm just going to book it straight ahead.
Yeah.
Because there was the whole thing too, where she came out of the ship earlier in the episode, and it's like dirt. It's like, listen, I understand she's a child and that she's been sheltered this whole time, but it was like the thing that you could be most like excited about, dirt.
It's dirt. It's not like the wind,
the leaves,
everything. Yeah, seeing these beautiful sights, it's like immediately just dirt. I feel like I don't know, I like dirt. I can empathize with that. I feel like I'd get excited over the dirt. I still get excited over dirt.
What are you talking about? Why are you so excited about dirt?
I don't know. I like dirt.
How much do you like dirt? Like, what does that mean in the scale of liking things? Is it like your hobby to look at dirt? Do you have a dirt collection?
I was gonna say that it's up there with like a rock collection. You just have different samples of dirt.
This is just looser rocks.
It's like
like you like rock collecting. I like dirt. And where do you find rocks?
Dirt.
Dirt.
It's so take your dirt collection, break it on up, and then you have mine.
Over several thousand years, and eventually you'll get dirt, man.
Yeah, you'll get my dirt. It's like the sand collection. You go to different beaches and take a little sample of the sand.
I hate sand.
Everywhere. Nice.
Logan, I'm concerned about you having a dirt collection. Dirt? Logan has a dirt guy.
I got a dirt guy.
I love these comments.
You need dirt?
They immediately were on my side of being like, this is a strange thing for you to like, Logan, is dirt. But
you need dirt? Do you need special dirt? What kind do you need?
I don't need any dirt, to be honest.
I need less dirt. It's a little dirty around here.
Have you ever heard of a dirt devil?
Right.
A lot of people don't like dirt, but maybe when you sweep next time, put it in a little bag, send it for Patreon to this guy.
Yeah, send me all your dirt.
Hunter attempts to leave Omega with Cut and his family as he thinks that she needs a family, but she decides to stay with the Bad Batch. They ride off into the sunset.
It's beautiful.
Unfortunately, there were no points awarded during this episode. No points at all.
I had no predictions on Cut out-fathering Hunter.
Right. It's actually going backwards for me when it comes to the points, because Wrecker, I said he will solve a problem that like requires deductive reasoning or something like that. He has only just beat up stuff.
Yeah.
He beat up the wall so that you could get a point, and Omega goes through it. He rips the boot off of it. I mean, it could still happen, but like he just keeps doing stuff. Even he was supposed to tell the clones in the first episode, right? He was supposed to stall them from going into the forest. Right. Do you remember that?
Right.
And he was like, oh yeah, Hunter is in there dealing with it. And he's like, I don't know, maybe we should go in the forest. He's like I said, Hunter's dealing with it. And they were like, nah, we're just going to go.
Right.
And he's like, Hunter, they're on their way. It's like, why would you tell Wrecker to do that? Why would you tell Wrecker to halt other people? He's just gonna be like, hey, have you ever noticed how I'm big?
Right.
That's all I think about.
All right, they're coming through. We got to beat them.
Right.
Just immediately physical. Maybe Tick. Maybe Tick's your guy.
Maybe Tick.
I like the way Omega says Tick. Makes him feel like he's a tick.
Chad Benty says, does Omega reacting to dirt for the first time redeem sand? Dirt and sand are very different. Okay. Well, you're the dirt guy. Are dirt and sand like diametrically opposed to each other?
I don't think they're diametrically opposed to each other, but they are different. And I actually, very realistically, do hate sand.
I do too. I'm not a beach guy.
Yeah, I'm not even doing a Star Wars Anakin bit here.
Neither am I.
I hate sand, and it is everything he said about it is true. It's coarse. It gets everywhere. Dirt does not, though. I feel like dirt's friendlier. Dirt is like sand's friendlier cousin.
It's softer. It's like Padme.
Yeah,
it's like Padme on Naboo, and he like touches her like. Yeah, he just like lightly caresses her.
It's like
everything here is so soft. Just like rubs her face.
Right in her eyes. Well, and if you get sand wet, it's just wet sand. If you get dirt wet, you got mud. Mud is very fun.
Okay.
Mud is more fun than dirt.
So what were your thoughts of episode 2 of The Bad Batch? Let us know in the comments. And that's the question for you as well. 1 out of 10 for this episode, Logan.
I feel like I was so critical of the first one.
I know, because this one to me feels like a 7.
Well, if the first one was a 7, this one's got to be like a 5.
Really? Yeah.
And it's not because I didn't like it, but now if the one that was so good
in comparison,
you have to keep it at but I liked it. It felt very similar, not in story,
yeah,
but in the way I feel about it to the episode of The Mandalorian with the spiders.
Yes.
Did I enjoy it? Yes.
Should it have been that early in the season? I'm not sure.
Am I going to go and rewatch it immediately? I already did. No. Just...
Commodore Mellish says, Tyler to log in, but your name's Logan now.
That's cool.
You're the dirt to my sand. We're like Earth, Wind, and Fire. No. Hall & Oates.
Yeah.
I'm sand, you're dirt.
I'm dirt.
Chad Benty is on your side by saying mud is neat.
Mud is neat. You can paint with it. You can throw it.
Are you throwing mud?
Yeah.
Why are you doing that?
I fling mud around.
Okay, so scores time. Commodore Mellish says 7 was fabulous. Like I said, it's still a good episode. It was still fun. It does feel, I can agree with you, being like a 5-ish,
right?
Middle of the road.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think people are too critical when it comes to these types of scorings. You know what I mean? It's like,
well, 5 is like straight failing. 5 out of 10.
Well, we're not
6 out of 10 is a D.
We're not a school.
We are Shadow Squadron School.
We are? Is that why all those kids are here?
Yeah.
At all times?
That's not why.
Is that why they keep chewing? Is that why they keep chewing on our internet wires?
Yes.
I knew it. Commodore Benty says, this one was okay. It was great seeing a deep cut character. Oh, deep cut character.
Nice.
Clever.
Nice.
Was a good 7. So kind of the 7 to 5, 6 range or so.
Yeah.
Let's split the difference and say it was a 6.
Here's the thing. If I am going to be critical about it, I liked seeing Cut again. I liked him revisiting that. I just feel like he had more character development in his episode of the Clone Wars than he did in this.
Right.
And that, you know what I mean? I'm getting a little extreme with it, but
I will say the big kind of reveal that we got from this that is going to push this story along is the fact that Cut recently saw someone. You remember that? Rex.
Oh,
not even like recently, like yesterday. Didn't he say like he came back a day back or something like that? It's like, whoa.
Yeah. And then thinking about predictions, as soon as I said Rex, I thought that. I was like, Rex, he's gonna meet Cal.
Yeah, yours is gonna meet Cal.
That's such a bad prediction.
I'm still looking.
I don't know what I was thinking.
My Hail Mary, if you remember, is that Vader will eventually hunt them down, specifically Rex, because he's looking for Ahsoka. So the sooner we get Rex involved into this,
the better for you.
The better for me. Yes, and big Rex fans with Commodore Mellish talking about Rex. So I'm excited for next week. I'm excited for us to come back and talk about next week's episode. Once again, let us know. You can reach out to us anywhere, our Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, comment on stuff. Let us know what day and time works for you if we are going to do a different time for our streams, and we will kind of allocate a lot of that information and be able to come up with a better time period. If you can't tell, I'm sort of leaning towards Fridays because that is Bad Batch Day. That is when it comes out.
Right.
Most people will be watching it, and by the time we do a stream, say later in the evening, most people will probably have watched it by then, and then we can all kind of congregate and talk about our thoughts then.
Be thinking about it too. It's still fresh in the mind.
Exactly. But let us know if something works better for you. With these review episodes, we're not doing a unknown regions. We are just kind of going to close it out with our general plug. So Logan, go ahead and plug our normal things that we do at the beginning of the episode, which we will do at the end of the episode as well.
Ooh, like everything we're going through? Like you want me to do the art?
Yeah, this is your time to shine, Logan. Don't mess it up.
I was like, what am I supposed to be doing? We have art?
Yeah, we have art.
Everything's just going to be a question mark. We have art from Acme Archives Direct. The Gift by Al Abazia is right there. Oh, I was going to point behind me, but you brought it up on the screen. That's cool.
And it's back there too.
That's definitely better. The certificate of authenticity.
Yep.
Right here. I have it for you because I really have it.
Peek behind the scenes. Here's all of our certificates of authenticity. Where's the one for that? We will find it someday. Who knows? But that'll be a gift once we find it. So you can win the gift by I keep wanting to say Phase Runner. His name was so
Phase Runner. It's just like stuck in your brain.
Yes.
I want to keep saying Lucas Durham.
The Gift by Al. I can't say it. I told you before we started.
Owl.
I can't say owl.
He says owl.
Owl. Al Abazia.
Owl.
No way. That's
He
the
is
last time I will say his name. I will move on to the fact that last month's winner was Commodore Mellish. I will get in contact with you and get your information to send you the art. We do have a Tiny King / Queen of the Tiny Chair, Tiny Victories. She is still Hey It's B from before. We will figure out a better way to have her be dethroned.
Yes.
I will say, just off the top of my head, if you do listen to this on Apple Podcasts, give us a 5-star rating and a review. It does help us out to spread the show. And we will maybe make you the Tiny King / Queen to live right behind us. And how about we give one last shout out to our patrons at patreon.com/Chatter Squadron. What do they get there again?
Oh, you get some show notes, Discord, early releases, shout outs.
Yes, and a shout out specifically to Commodore Marroquin,
Commodore Marroquin,
Commodore Rayside,
Commodore Benty,
and Commodore Mellish. So we will see you guys next week at some period of time, and we appreciate everybody watching us this time around. So we will see you very soon. Goodbye, everybody. May the force be with you.